and welcome to the Fertility Conversations podcast. The goal of this podcast is to create more awareness about infertility and to provide support to people trying to conceive. Thank you for listening today, and we hope you will be encouraged. And now, here is your host, Ola.
Welcome to another episode of Fertility Conversation. Today we are joined by a lovely guest, Erika Tranfield. She's the founder of Pride Angel, which is the leading parenting connection website for singles and couples. Erika will be sharing her journey to parenthood with us today. She will also enlighten us about Pride Angel and how they can support people trying to conceive. Her details would also be in the show notes. So welcome, Erika, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yay, thank you. So we usually start off by saying, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, my name's Erika Tranfield. I founded Pride Angel back in 2009. Pride Angel is a parenting connection website for anybody looking for sperm donors, egg donors, and co-parents. And I founded Pride Angel, actually, you could say a little bit selfishly, because I wanted to find my own sperm donor. And at that time, there wasn't anything that really met with my requirements. So that's where I took my knowledge of, I'm a scientist in the day, and I always say Pride Angel by night. I have to apologize, I've got the baby here with me, so if there's any noise or babble, she's just saying hello.
That's sweet.
So yes, that's why I found Pride Angel was obviously created. I'm a scientist, I understand all the infection testing and the screening aspects, but I obviously wanted to find a known donor. Having a look back in 2009 at what was available, there were obviously the fertility clinic and the sperm bank options. As a lesbian woman, I require to have sperm because obviously that's not available in our relationship. Yeah. And to use a sperm bank or a fertility clinic, you get very basic details. So you'll get information about their eye color, hair color, or something such like. And for me, I wanted a little bit more. I think meeting somebody face to face in person, you get so much more information from that individual. For example, I'm 5'2", I've got bluey green eyes, I've got blondie brown hair, and so is Kylie Minogue, but I'm not Kylie Minogue. So, there's a lot that you get from meeting somebody face to face than you do just on a piece of paper. So that was an important factor for us. And again, back in 2009, there was, when I had a look at what was available online, there were guys asking for sex. And I thought, there's something not right about this. I can do something. I can bridge a gap here. I can take my information and knowledge about the industry of sexually transmitted disease testing. And I have a requirement personally. So why not do it, and found it and help other people also.
Amazing. So you created that while going through your own journey?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
We were very fortunate. We found a donor. Well, in fact, we found 4 donors along the way. But we found the one in the end. And we have 2 beautiful babies. Well, 2. I've got 4.5-year-old and a 9-month-old.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Very lucky.
Yeah. And when you noted the fact that, of course, many times clinics will give you very basic information. And of course, when you're using a donor, yes, some people want anonymous. But I know quite a few people also want to know more information about the donor and have possibility of potentially maybe the children meeting the donor in the future or things like that. So in your case with Pride Angel, what do you do in terms of a donor? What do you provide? What comes with it?
Pride Angel is a little bit like it's like a dating website, but for finding a sperm donor, egg donor, or co-parents. So you will go on, you'll create a profile, and then you'll look for somebody with whom the characteristics you're interested in. So, for example, for ourselves, we were looking for a donor with bluey or green eyes. We wanted him not to be too far away from where we were living. In terms of the hair color, we were looking at blondie brown to be something that was similar to us.
Right.
And then you would use the internal messaging system to contact that person before you're giving out personal information. And that's important to actually feel comfortable with using the internal messaging system before you're giving out your own details. And that's why we designed Pride Angel. It's we try to make it as safe as possible as well. So that we have a report abuse system. So anybody that does anything untoward, you can report them and we will remove that member. We have just short of 100,000 members globally.
Oh, wow.
So it's important that we look after our members. We're not trying to increase our numbers for any particular reason. We want to make sure that our aim game is to make sure it's as safe as possible and to do everything that we can do to protect individuals that are going down this route.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
I know, and 100,000 is actually, it's a good number. It's a great number.
But it's just short of that. And obviously we've been going since 2009. So we are one of the largest parenting connection websites out there. And it's just, I feel very privileged to be in the position where we are. But I should also point out that we don't make any money. And I fund the website myself. So it's, yeah, as crazy as it sounds, and I'm just about to rebuild the website again and sell my house to do it. So it's a great passion, and it's something that I really believe in.
Wow, that's incredible, Erika. I'm trying to just imagine. Wow.
Yeah.
And why do you? I know, of course, you're really passionate about Pride Angel and supporting people, but why did you decide to make that free, or why did you decide that?
So it's free to register, and then the only payments that you'll make on Pride Angel are for message credits. The message credits come in at £30 for 20 messages, or you can have a premium membership, which is £25 a month for a term of 3 months. The money that comes in from that goes back into the website. It doesn't really fund anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the reason why I do the reason why I charge and the reason why I don't put it totally free for everything is because if I did that, people don't have a value to contacting somebody, and somebody would contact everybody. And what I wanted to do was make it more whereby you'd think about who you were contacting. So you would contact somebody that had your specifics, your criteria that you're interested in, and not just carpet bomb everybody. On the other hand, the reason why I don't charge a lot of money is because I don't believe in making money from the people. But of course, you might think, well, she's crazy. She's a multi-millionaire, and most probably the former more than the latter. But the reason, so the endpoint objective, of course, is to make the business sustainable. And in order to make it sustainable, I will need to look at how I can fund the website, not just keep continually coming out of my pocket. Right. And that's where I will, I'm looking at having a resource area for fertility clinics to be registered on Pride Angel. So somebody can actually come onto Pride Angel, they can find their known donor, and then they can look for a respective fertility clinic that we will obviously accredit on Pride Angel, so they know that they're using a fertility clinic that is that we believe offer a good service. So that eventually will be where we'll make some money to actually fund the website.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. That's actually an excellent idea. So I hope that comes to pass very soon.
Thank you. I know it will. I'm very passionate about it, and I think that as long as we can help make babies and support people, that's really the endpoint objective.
Yes, and it can be such a challenging journey, especially when people need donor gamete, either as eggs or sperm or even embryo adoption. It can be quite challenging. So to have Pride Angel create support services like that and actually make it affordable is amazing. It does help in the journey for sure.
Oh, well, the fertility industry makes a lot of money from people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all about trying to raise awareness and provide people with options. You know, as you said earlier on, you know, there are people that will, of course, use fertility clinics, and they're quite happy to have donors that are anonymous. And what I'm about is to provide choice and to allow people to understand their options and what is available out there. You know, it's all about making informed decisions from the information that you've been given that is unbiased, basically. I have no hidden agenda. I want to help people make the right decision for themselves, and we're not all the same. So, for example, we keep in touch with our donor. We call him Donor Daddy, and yeah, we see him a couple of times a year. I must admit, after I conceived, so we when I met him, we tried to conceive the first time, and I didn't conceive. And then the second time, he told me that he'd just taken a job abroad, and he was really apologetic. And he said, "I'm really sorry, but this might be the last donation." And because he was the fourth donor and it was over 4 years, honestly, at that moment in time, I just said to the universe, if this doesn't happen, I'm okay with that. I'm really okay. I'm going to have the most amazing holidays. And I conceived. So yeah, we keep in touch with him. He doesn't live in this country at the moment. He lives abroad, but we have, again, quite a unique situation whereby we have his mum and dad, so nanny and granddad, also keep in touch. Again, as I was saying before, it's not for everybody, but bless you. We wanted to extend the love for our family, and that was something that was quite important for us. And we see nanny and granddad more frequently. So they live within an hour away from us. We most probably see them every other month or so.
Wow, that's really amazing.
Yeah. Well, we think so. You know, it's what we wanted. It's why. And some people say to me, well, Erika, how long does it take to find a donor on Pride Angel? And I'm always like, well, it really depends what you're looking for. We wanted something very specific. You know, I wanted to find a donor that wanted to keep in contact and wanted for his family to know about the donation and wanted for them to be involved. And 4 donors 4 years later, and we found the right guy, basically.
Yeah. Now, how do you prevent a potential donor in a case where, of course, you know, you're having contact maybe a few times a year? How do you prevent that donor from potentially thinking that they now have a role, either a fatherly role or motherly role in the whole parenting idea?
Fantastic question. Absolutely. It's all, if we were talking about properties, I'd be saying location, location, location. We're talking families, we're talking children, babies. It's communication, communication, communication. It's so important to talk about what your expectations are up front. So, of course, we spoke with him. We did a donor agreement. I can tell you that donor number 2, along the process, we were very close to going down the route with donor number 2. And it was actually Natalie Gamble, who was doing the donor agreement at that time before we attempted to do the insemination. She phoned me up and said, Erika, I think he actually wants to be more of a co-parent. And I got that involved in the process. Although I've been working in this industry for so long, I didn't see it myself. He was gorgeous. We would have had beautiful days. And you know what, a really nice guy, but he was talking about maybe moving closer to us and having a savings account for the children. And I just thought at the time, oh, that sounds nice. But no, Natalie called me up and said, Erika, I think you might make a mistake here, and I think he wants more than what you're interested in. And she was right. And that's really important to talk to somebody who is experienced in the field. And donor agreements, I am a big fan, not just of going off the internet. Anybody can search in the internet donor agreement and try and draw one up themselves. But from my experience, the information and the support that you get for spending a little bit more money from a professional is priceless. On top of that, I can also tell you that what I did was to do it was actually around 4 to 5 pages of A4. We did a letter of intent. And in the letter of intent, we wrote everything about what we intended to do with the child. So we said, for example, crazy things like Christmas, and it takes a lot to sit down and talk about it. Christmas, we said that we're a big Christmas family. My mother quite often will put up the Christmas tree in early November. So
love it.
Yeah, so it's really important for us. And we said that as the children grow up, if he wanted to see them around that time, he's more than welcome to come round to us. But we always go around to my parents' house, so we wouldn't be going to him. We said that for parents' evening, he wouldn't be coming to parents' evening, but we'll be happy to share a school report with him. We told him, holidays holidays to how we intended to bring up the children in terms of discipline. We said we'd do a naughty step, and it was quite empowering, really, for us to do it ourselves, to discuss everything up front. But it was also great for him to read our intent for our child.
Yeah.
He read it, was more than happy with it, said absolutely fine. And I think it was because there was an understanding, and he's a great guy. He, when he does come back over to the UK, he will come and see the girls. We'll spend a little bit of time with him, but he doesn't feel, although they call him daddy in his name, he is a sperm donor. But I think that the reason why we named him daddy in his name was for the children to actually understand where they come from, and for them to be more comfortable in the school setting. I think that was, they know that they've got a daddy out there, but he's not a parent. And we explain that even now. We constantly talk about our family situation and explain to the children, because they don't necessarily always understand everything. And it's the sponges, don't get me wrong, but you've still got to keep continually explaining things so they understand. And that's again, it's communication with your children is also important.
Wow, I love it. I love the whole, the fact that, you took such a detailed approach to the whole situation, right? Going through all that.
It's quite weird to actually sit down and go, right, okay, so what are we discussing? And it's like, okay, let's start with, I don't know, discipline, religion, anything.
Yeah.
And it's something that, I really think that everybody should do it before you have a child. Sit down and talk about what you intend to do with your child at certain points, because with having a child, we don't have any handbook,
Yeah.
I'd love one at sometimes, but there is no handbook for parenting. So to sit down and try to talk between yourselves as the parents as the intended parents before the child is there is much better than trying to do it afterwards.
Yeah, and it's an excellent idea, because you just can never know what people's expectations or beliefs are. You cannot assume that you're both the same if you're in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Everyone could have different ideas.
Yeah, yeah. And because you're with that person, and you can be with somebody for years and years and years, and you just assume that you know these questions, but actually really until you dig down into a little bit further, I think you do find out a little bit more. And it's a great idea, and honestly recommend it to everybody to do it.
I will now, for sure. And so you say that the legal aspect is a huge part, regardless of if someone comes through Pride Angel or not. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say absolutely. I can't recommend it enough for people to ensure that they speak to somebody professional.
Right. Okay. And are all your donors known donors, in terms of with the exact situation you have, where the children could have communication and contact with the donor if they do want, or is there the option of anonymous as well?
So Pride Angel is a known donor website, but there are several different types of donors. So because it's a connection service and it's online, you will ultimately have to meet this person. That's, that's part of the process. Now, of course, you can meet that person and take them to fertility clinic for treatment, or you can go for home insemination. They're the two options. But and I just coming back to that, I mean, I always recommend people to go to the fertility clinic for the treatment. It's the safest route, but it's not for everybody. So, for example, for myself, I went for home insemination, and that's not because I couldn't afford the fertility clinic treatment. And that's quite often what people think, you go to the fertility clinic if you can afford it, but it's not. So we went for home insemination because we wanted to do it in the comfort of our own home. And I didn't want a strange man's head in between my legs putting it there for me. So that was really important for myself, to do it in the comfort of our own home. And yes, sorry, do you know what, I've gone around the question and I've forgotten what the original question was.
No, I was just saying that, I mean, it's great what you've said, actually, because I think people might not have thought there was that option. And just while you're speaking about home insemination, what does that mean for someone that is not aware?
Home insemination is where you will, the donor will provide you the donation. For our example, we went to his house for the first attempt, and I picked it up, drove back, and did home insemination. And for the second time, he came round to our house, went upstairs to the bathroom, left it in the bathroom, said goodbye, and then we went up to the bedroom. And basically, on Pride Angel, we sell home insemination kits. That's where you will literally, the sperm goes into a sperm pot. You will then use a syringe, and we used a syringe and extender, and then we used a speculum and basically put it in there. And for anybody being concerned or ever thinking about, somebody saying about sex or NI as opposed to home insemination or artificial insemination, there is no difference. It's just as successful. So when we did the insemination, then tilted the pelvis backwards, I used a cup to actually hold it in place. It's very recommended, to be honest, because obviously it gets a little bit messy otherwise.
And of course, I know that some people will also be thinking now that what about potential STIs or STDs? With Pride Angel, are all this testing then done for every?
No. So again, it's all down to yourselves. We've got a lot of information on the website about what you should do. And again, what we did is we took the donor to the gum clinic, and he got screened for everything at the gum clinic. And
Perfect.
Also, we got to know him over a period of time. So we knew and trusted him. It's like when you meet a new partner.
Yeah.
It's important. I mean, a lot of people don't get their new partners tested. And
no.
So, whoa, hold on. Let's not go for this intimate moment. I want you tested. But of course you should do. But no, with a donor, it's really important that you, from my perspective, get to know them, and then, make sure that they're screened yourselves, and obviously get the legal agreement done yourself if you're not going through a fertility clinic. Now, of course, if you're going through a fertility clinic, absolutely fantastic, because they will do all of that for you, and you don't have to worry about any concerns about the sperm not being tested and any legal sides. Of course, I know and understand a lot. There's a lot of information on Pride Angel for people to read about should they opt for the home insemination route. But yes, safety is really paramount. You need to make sure that you do absolutely get the donor tested.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. And I know that you also speak about Pride Angel being a parenting agency as well. And I remember having a young man asking me about wanting to be a father, but wasn't in any relationship and didn't want to ask any female friends as well. So does Pride Angels assist individuals seeking co-parenting options?
Yes, absolutely. And co-parenting is becoming more and more popular, as I think there's more information and there's more media coverage about it. There are a lot of people that, especially I think of my generation, that have gone through their life and they've had a high focus on their career. They've been, very successful, but they may not have found Mr. or Mrs. Right. And then, the biological clock is ticking. And that goes for men as well as women. There's a big need out there for people, and to co-parent can be a very, very positive experience for individuals. Again, coming down to communication, that's really important. But you're bringing up a child both together with 50% legal and financial responsibilities, but you don't have that relationship, that sexual relationship, obviously, between the two individuals, which can, everything is sort of separate. The focus and the emphasis is just on the child rather than between the two of you. So it can work out, and it can be very beneficial for the individuals. And of course, again, I'm going to keep saying this, it's all about talking and making sure that you're both on the same page, and you both want the same things for the child. Don't always think in a co-parenting situation that a co-parent means that the female will have the child from Monday to Friday, and then the male will have the child Saturday, Sunday. I know and have spoken with women that have said, actually, that's not for me. I would rather the guys look after the child Monday to Friday, and I have the child of a weekend. So there are lots of people, and the conventional family that we all think of, this 2.4, family unit, is being blown out of the window. And I think there are so many different family types to suit different people. And that's just beautiful for me. We're all different, and we should be able to have different family types dependent upon what we're looking for and what works and fits best for us.
Yes, well said, Erika. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And earlier, actually, when you were speaking, I'd asked if we had all option of anonymous or non-anonymous donors, and you noted that every donor with Pride Angel had the option of, like, you had to meet the person at some point. And then I think you wanted to further detail the difference or the options within that.
I did. That's that I missed out before. Thank you. Yeah. So yes, the three different types I normally say. There are donors that are happy to donate and walk away, but at least you've met them and you understand who they are. You can ask the questions and you've got the information of that donor should you ever need to contact them again. Second type of donor is somebody who's happy to donate and be in the background. Maybe they will send a birthday card or a Christmas card, but again, you've got their information, you've got their contact details, and you can contact them. But they're a little bit more than just walk away and you never really see them again. Third type of donor is whereby you may see them maybe a couple of times a year. And you could almost call them almost like an uncle figure person in the child's life. And of course, I would say that our situation is a little bit more than that in the fact that we've got the donor's family also involved. But again, not for everybody. It's just an option available out there.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, go ahead.
No, of course, I was just going to say about the anonymous. So anonymous donors in the UK are not really possible because from the fertility clinics, you can get identifiable information at the age of 18. You can go to certain countries and get anonymous. So, for example, from Spain. But I'm always a little bit hesitant about complete anonymous, because I think that you're taking away the ability for the child to know anything about the origin of the genetics of that 50%. So I would always ask people to really consider it. I'm not saying that it should never be an option, but and you should also think, we've got a lot of tests out there. We've got Ancestry, 23andMe, and all these new genetic tests coming up that perhaps, anonymous doesn't really mean anonymous anymore anyway.
Yeah, it's yeah, you're right. Anyone can find out any information about themselves that they want right now.
Of course.
And which actually brings me to the whole topic about should anyone tell any do not conceive child about the fact that they do not conceive? And I know that you highlighted the fact that the importance of communication and the constant communication with your daughters. And of course, it keeps changing as they grow older as well. So I just wanted to say, just for anyone listening, what's your opinion on that, about telling a child or not about the fact that they do not conceive?
I think honesty is best. I always have done. I'm a big advocate of it, because I think that a lot of things always come out. And as much as you
Yeah.
can try and hide things, children have a way of knowing. And the more information you give them, they're just like sponges. They just take it and they absorb it and they just carry on. If I say something to my daughter, she'll literally just go, "Okay, mommy," and carry on. I love that, and she can talk to her friends that she's got her daddy who's in another country, but he's not a parent. Is how she explains the situation. And it's just matter of fact for her. She's got two mums. And that's really important from my perspective, that she just takes it as matter of fact. And if somebody questions her, she just gives a direct answer. And I think a lot of people worry about children and wrapping them up in cotton wool and not telling them certain things. And I'm the opposite. I think that the more you give when they're younger, the less issues you'll have when they're older, because when they're older, they'll think, well, why didn't you tell me when I was younger?
Yeah.
There's always that question that comes back. Why did you lie to me sometimes? And it's not a case of I wanted to lie to you. It was, I was trying to protect you. And they say, well, what were you protecting me from? And some parents might say, well, I didn't want you to get bullied or something like this. And do you know what? In terms of, I have an opinion about bullying. I think that, anybody has the ability at any point in their life to be bullied. But if you have the ability to come back with matter of fact information, then the likelihood is, and if you bring your child up to be strong and knowing themselves, then they can cut somebody down pretty fast about, being donor conceived or anything like that. You can be bullied for being tall, short, red hair, blonde hair. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be somebody in life who can be like that. But if you bring your children up to say, hey, I've got a donor daddy, and I've also got two mummies. And, at some points in our child's life, in our daughter's life, her friends have turned around and said, hey, that's cool. I want two mummies. That's kind of cute.
Yeah. And I mean, I really love, all that you said, Erika, really, because I think that, like you said, when you equip the child and let them know that, yes, it might be different from what you might see elsewhere or, other friends, but just because it's different doesn't make it any less, or you're unique and you're great and you're excellent. I think that really helps them to be confident as well, just like you said, right? Because then you don't feel like anything is wrong with them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you hide it, they start to question, like, is there something wrong? Is there something that you're ashamed of? But you're not ashamed. Like, I think it's excellent.
Be proud.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Be proud. It's so many parts of parenthood, globally, and it's going to keep expanding as the world keeps, exploring other options. So important. Like I said, communication is the key thing. Thank you for sharing that, Erika.
Oh, you're very welcome. Always a pleasure.
And for anyone listening, and I've just been inspired and just like wowed by everything that you're doing with Pride Angel, and the fact that you're providing that option, because like you said, there needs to be an option. Yes, some people might want anonymous, but even the fact that I know lots of people also want non-anonymous, right? They want that opportunity to, like you have with your daughters, have Christmas or have coffee with the donor dad or donor mom, whatever the situation is. So it's great to have that option as well, because again, we're all different and our needs and desires are different. So
isn't it beautiful that we are all different?
Yes, right. if we're the same, that would be so boring.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Pride Angel is about. It's about giving you that platform to say, hey, this is what I want. Let's have a look at what's out there for me. And there you go, voila.
And for anyone listening, Erika, and looking to use your services, what is the best way to connect with you?
Just to log online. So it's prideangel.com. It's free to register, and go on, have a look. There's a lot of functionality at the website. There's a lot of information out there. If people have got any questions, get in touch. Always happy to help.
Perfect. Thank you. And as a wrap up, is there any other information that you'd like to share?
No, I'd just like to really thank you very much for your time, and to say to everybody, options are beautiful, and make sure that you speak with people around you, your partner, your family. Find out what's really right for you. I'm going to come back to this word again, communication. I should rename the website Pride Angel.
I know, right?
But no, talk to people. Go onto the website, have a look, speak to people on the website, get a feel for it, and do what's right for you. There's not one route that everybody should go down. It's your choice.
Yes, love it, Erika. Thank you so much for being here today. I mean, you're truly amazing. I met you in person, and your light was just like your personality, just being around you was amazing. And even listening to you here now, I know that everyone that's listening can tell how passionate and amazing and just a wonderful person that you are. So thank you for all that you're doing, Erika. You're making such a difference, and I hope that you know it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Really does. Thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to having you again in the near future.
Yes, please.
And thank you to baby. She's been pretty good.
Oh, my partner's just been down and just taken her upstairs.
I was like, what happened? Oh, wow. Okay, well, thanks to partner too.
Yeah. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Erika, and enjoy the rest of your day. I know you have a busy one ahead of you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Fertility Conversations podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Fertility Conversations. If there are any topics you would like to have discussed, please send an email to fertilityconversations@gmail.com. Be sure to tune in next week for our next episode. Thank you again for listening. Take care of yourself and do stay hopeful.